Hello there, and welcome to this playthrough of Ultima IV: Quest of the Avatar. I'm playing this game on the Sega Master System, though there were many notable releases of this game on other platforms, such as the Commodore 64, the Amiga, as well as the PC-88. I think it was also released on the NES, and even DOS. So it's been released and redone lots of times, and I am really excited to be able to play it on the Master System, which is something that I don't think a lot of people maybe have seen or have done themselves. So without further ado, here we go. So we are going to initiate a new game, and I will put in my name here. We will be Hun, as usual. We will be female. The day is warm, yet there is a cooling breeze. The latest in a series of personal crises seems insurmountable. You are being pulled apart in all directions. Yet this afternoon's walk in the countryside slowly brings relaxation to your harried mind. The soil and strain of modern high-tech living begins to wash off in layers. That willow tree near the stream looks comfortable and inviting. The buzz of dragonflies and the whisper of the willow's swaying branches bring a deep peace. Searching inward for tranquility and happiness, you close your eyes. A high-pitched, cascading sound, like crystal wind chimes, impinges on your floating awareness. As you open your eyes, you see a shimmering blueness rise from the ground. The sound seems to be emanating from this glowing portal. It is difficult to look at the blueness. Light seems to bend and distort around it, while the sound waves become so intense they appear to become visible. The portal hangs there for a moment. Then, with the rush of an imploding vacuum, it sinks into the ground. Something remains suspended in midair for a moment before falling to the earth with a heavy thud. Somewhat shaken by this vision, you rise to your feet to investigate. A crude circle of stone surrounds the spot where the portal appeared. There is something glinting in the grass. You pick up an amulet shaped like a cross with the loop at the top. It is an ankh, the sacred symbol of life and rebirth. But this could not have made the thud. So you look again and find a large book wrapped in thick cloth. With trembling hands, you unwrap the book. Behold, the cloth is a map, and within lies not one book, but two. The map is of a land strange to you, and the style speaks of an ancient cartography. The script on the cover of the first book is arcane but readable. The title is The History of Britannia, as told by Kyle the Younger. The other book is disturbing to look at. Its small cover appears to be fashioned out of some sort of leathery hide, but from what creature is uncertain. The reddish-black skin radiates an intense aura suggestive of ancient power. The tongue of the title is beyond your ken. You dare not open the book and disturb whatever sleeps within. You decide to peruse the history. Settling back under the willow tree, you open the book. You read the book of history. And they literally mean you should sit down and read the book of history that's normally supplied with the game. For those of you that are interested in playing this game but don't necessarily have a copy of this book, it's available as a free download because Ultima is also free on GOG.com, so the resources that would come with that game are also free. So that's where I got my copy because my Master System version didn't come with it. No, really, read the book of history. They're not kidding. It really does help quite a bit. Closing the book, you again pick up the ankh. As you hold it, you begin to hear a hauntingly familiar, lute-like sound wafting over a nearby hill. Still clutching the strange artifacts, you rise unbidden and climb the slope. In the valley below, you see what appears to be a fair. It seems strange that you came that way earlier and noticed nothing. As you mull this over, your feet carry you down towards the site. This is no ordinary traveling carnival, but a Renaissance fair. The pennons on the tent tops blow briskly in the late afternoon breeze. The ticket taker at the Ren Fair's gate starts to ask you for money, but upon spotting your ankh says, "Welcome, friend. Enter in peace and find your path." The music continues to pull you forward amongst the merchants and vendors. Glimpses of fabulous treasures can be seen in some of the shadowy booths. These people are very happy. They seem to glow with an inner light. Some look up as you pass and smile, but you cannot stop. The music compels you to move onward through the crowd. Through the gathering dusk, you see a secluded gypsy wagon sitting off in the woods. The music seems to emanate from the wagon. As you draw near, a woman's voice weaves into the music, saying, "You may approach, O seeker." You enter to find an old gypsy sitting in a small curtained room. She wears an ankh around her neck. In front of her is a round table covered in deep green velvet. The room smells so heavily of incense that you feel dizzy. Seeing the ankh, the ancient gypsy smiles and warns you never to part with it. "We have been waiting such a long time, but at last you have come. Sit here and I shall read the path of your future." Upon the table, she places a curious wooden object, like an abacus but without beads. In her hands, she holds 8 unusual cards. Let us begin the casting. The gypsy places the first 2 cards upon the table. They are the cards of spirituality and humility. She says, "Consider this. Thy parents wish thee to become an apprentice. 2 positions are available. Dost thou, A, become an acolyte in the spiritual order, or B, become an assistant to a humble village cobbler?" Well, I don't know. Maybe it would be more wise to become an assistant, but also being an acolyte might be fun. We'll choose A. The gypsy places 2 more of the cards upon the table. They are the cards of honesty and compassion. She says, "Consider this. Entrusted to deliver an uncounted purse of gold, thou dost meet a poor beggar. Dost thou, A, deliver the gold knowing the trust in thee was well placed, or B, show compassion, giving the beggar a coin knowing it won't be missed?" For me personally, it would definitely be B. Though if I had my own money, I'd give my own money, of course, but if it won't be missed, I think it would be nice to show that compassion to someone that really needs it. The gypsy places 2 more of the cards upon the table. They are the cards of justice and sacrifice. She says, "Consider this. During a pitched battle, thou dost see a fellow desert his post, endangering many. As he flees, he is set upon by several enemies. Dost thou justly let him fight alone, or B, risk sacrificing thine own life to aid him?" Traitor or no traitor, nobody deserves to die, and he was probably running because he was scared. So I would say B. I'd probably help. The gypsy places 2 more of the cards upon the table. They are the cards of valor and honor. She says, "Consider this. During battle, thou art ordered to guard thy commander's empty tent. The battle goes poorly, and thou dost yearn to aid thy fellows. Dost thou, A, valiantly enter the battle to aid thy companions, or B, honor thy post as a guard?" This is a tough one. I feel like personally, I would probably want to help. I can't imagine just standing by, because what good is watching the tent if everyone's dead and the people are just going to come and kill me eventually too anyway? I'd probably go with A. The gypsy places 2 more of the cards upon the table. They are the cards of valor and sacrifice. She says, "Consider this. A mighty knight accosts thee and demands thy food. Dost thou, A, valiantly refuse and engage the knight, or B, sacrifice thy food unto the hungry knight?" Definitely share my goods. The gypsy places 2 more of the cards upon the table. They are the cards of compassion and spirituality. She says, "Consider this. Thou hast been taught to preserve all life as sacred. A man lies fatally stung by a venomous serpent. He pleads for a merciful death. Dost thou show compassion and end his pain, or B, heed thy spiritual beliefs and refuse?" Oh my god, I would probably drag him to the hospital, but clearly that's not an option here. So, I mean, probably show compassion. I would definitely show compassion. Oh man, these questions are tough. Alright, the Gypsy places the last 2 cards upon the table. They are the cards of compassion and sacrifice. She says, consider this. Thee and thy friends have been routed and ordered to retreat. In defiance of thy orders, dost thou, A, stop in compassion to aid a wounded companion, or B, sacrifice thyself to slow the pursuing enemy so others may escape? And probably stop to help the wounded person, I imagine. Alright. With the final choice, the incense swells up around you. The Gypsy speaks as if from a great distance, her voice growing fainter with each word. So be it, thy path is chosen. There is a moment of intense, wrenching vertigo. As you open your eyes, a voice whispers within your mind, seek the counsel of thy sovereign. After a moment, the spinning subsides and you open your eyes to... Right on. So here we are. Now let's check and see what we actually are. So we're a bard. There we go. Okay, so basically the casting allows for the game to assign you a certain class, and there's 8 different classes that you can be assigned depending, maybe you can't be all 8, but you can be quite a few of them depending on what happens and what you end up being assigned. So we ended up being a bard. So that's pretty fun. So right now, just to orient us, our weapon is a sling, which is ranged, which is excellent. We have cloth armor on, which isn't too bad. And up at the top, in the top left, we have the phases of the moon, which work with the moon gates. And we have 200 gold as well. So that's all fine and good to know. And we only have 7 MP, I believe, 300 gold to start, 7 MP magic points. And yeah, we're starting out at Britain here. So perhaps we should duck in to the castle to begin here. So this is Lord British's castle. This town right here is Britain. And how I'm going to be running this is by taking notes just in this spreadsheet right here. So that's going to allow me to keep track of people that we talk to, conversations that we have, and just to know what we've discussed with people, which is imperative in this game. If you don't keep notes, you're up shit creek. You really do need to keep some good notes and make sure that you do know where you need to be going. Although it is an open world game, so you can kind of start wherever you like and go wherever you like, but keeping notes is definitely a must. So let's pop in to Lord British's castle here. Okay, so how this game works is you can address anybody that is in towns. So you just stand beside them and then you can ask to talk. And then you can choose a direction, so you can select the person that you'd like to speak with. So I'm going to select this guard. And then he says, he's a burly guard. He says, I am a guard. And then you have a whole bunch of options that open up. So you can ask his name, you can look at him, ask about his job, inquire about his health, ask him to join your party, and also give, which is usually to give money to them in the case of beggars, for example. So let's start with this conversation. So we'll ask for his name. He says, I am a guard. You see a burly guard when we select look. The job is he guards the castle and all within. His health couldn't be better. And only certain characters in the game will join your party. These are other recruitable members that you can get of each class to round out your party, but you're only allowed to have as many characters that correspond to your level. So I don't know if I would be allowed to recruit someone else right now, or if I'd need to wait until I became level 2, for example. Okay? So he cannot join us. That's expected. And giving won't work. He does not need our gold. And then keywords will also open up depending on what people say to you. So he told us that he was a guard and that he guards the castle. So here we can click on guard and he says he guards the castle, and the castle is fair and strong. So this is kind of the usual conversation piece that is really imperative for this particular game. And anytime you talk to characters, sometimes these keywords will pop up. Sometimes to get keywords to pop up with certain individuals, you have to have conversations with other people. So it's all very much just trial and error, and really you have to talk to everybody to make sure that you get those keywords popping up so that you can keep moving forward. So let's start out here with the notes. So we're in Lord British's castle. And it's also really important to get a copy of the map as well. If you don't have one, it's again an imperative thing. Do we seek Lord British? Yes. He is on the upper level in the throne room. Okie dokie. Good. So let's have a chat with this person. A bouncing jester. His name. Okay, so we have here Chuckles. And he's a jester. He's the royal jester. His health is good. He won't join us and we can't give to him, so let's go check out Royal Jester. Welcome unto the castle Britannia. Hast thou an ankh? Yes. Then enter in peace. Okay. So that's good. So, enter in peace. Perfect. So I'm just going to take little notes based on some of the conversations that we have with people. So nothing too major. I think this is just another guard here. Another burly guard. So he's also a guard. He's still burly. Guards the castle and all within. Okay, so nothing new here. So everybody is trying to push us in the general direction of Lord British. So that's good and fine. So we can leave this part for now. We can probably check out... Oops, the door is right here. This spot. You meet a solemn ranger. I am Sheila. Okay. We've met Sheila. I spelled her name wrong. There we go. She's a solemn ranger. She searches for inner light. She's in good health. Seek the inner light in the shrines. Runes are needed to enter shrines. So seeks inner light. Runes needed for shrines. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to expand this column. There we go. Perfect. Dost thou know of mantra? No. The mantra are chants needed to focus thy thoughts while meditating. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so we need a rune and a mantra for each shrine. Okay, perfect. So let's have a chat with this person. You meet an uninjured, or an injured fighter, I should say. So we have Sisha. Injured fighter. Fought for the country. A grievous wound. The wound is pretty deep. And the country is Britannia. Fight ye for Britannia? Yes. Then seek out the smith named Zircon and Minoc, for he made the mystic arms. Only they will save thee in the abyss. Okay. So, injured fighter. Seek out Zircon and Minoc for mystic arms. And they'll protect in abyss. Perfect. So this information is the type of thing that you really need to keep track of. And so whenever we do get to the town of Minoc, when we talk to Zircon, he'll have a specific keyword there about the arms, right? And if we didn't chat with Sisha first, we wouldn't have that keyword pop up. So it's important that you really do make sure that you talk to everybody. Let's have a chat with the healer here. Welcome unto the royal healer. Peace and joy be with you, friend. Are you in need of help? So if I were to say yes and I were wounded from battle, what we could do is heal my character and pay some money. But if we say no here, They say, may thy life be guarded by the powers of good. Okay, so the other thing too is that eventually you're able to donate blood at these locations. And donating blood increases your sacrifice rating. And this whole game is based around increasing all of your points, or so to speak, in virtues. And there are 8 virtues in total, which we'll talk about as we go throughout the game. Okay, well, let's go this way. And these are fields here. Anything that's different from the floor usually has some kind of connotation. These are a sleep field. At the other side of this is Hawkwind the Seer. Doesn't make sense to talk with him now because we've just started. But we'll chat with him now anyways. So he says, welcome, Hun. I am Hawkwind, Seer of Souls. I see that which is within thee and drives thee to deeds of good and evil. For what path dost thou seek enlightenment? So here are those 8 virtues that I was just mentioning. And if you ask Hawkwind about any of them, he'll kind of say, you know, if you need to work on that particular virtue more, and if you have achieved, I guess, maximum virtue in that specific area, then he tells you that you can seek elevation at the shrine for a specific type of virtue. So any of these that we select right now is not going to really say much for us other than continue to seek honesty, blah blah blah. Thou hast made little progress on the paths of honesty, strive to prove thy worth. Okay, so each one of these has to do with your actions in the game. So for example, if you lie, you don't get any honesty. If you don't donate money to beggars, for example, you don't show any compassion. If you run from battle, you don't demonstrate valor, right? So each one of these different things has to do specifically with how you act in the game. So it's important to always make sure that you're doing your best. For now, though, we've just barely started, so we won't spend more time with Hawkwind. In fact, we're actually going to go over here. This is just another guard, so we won't chat with him. But we'll pop downstairs here, or I guess upstairs, sorry. We'll go in the kitchen for fun. I'm going to try to chat with this person. You meet a person with a white hat. Your name? This is Le Chef. Interest? They're the chef. Well, all but my finger which I cut. Uh-oh. Food, glorious food, to cook is my life. Cooking is a practiced art. Do you eat? Yes. Then thou should try my soup. Okay, cool. Speaking of food, the F meter up on top of our menu right here that says 298, that's how much food we have. You do have to make sure that you do buy rations at different food stores throughout the world of Britannia. And if you run out of food, I think you might die. I'm not sure, like maybe your HP decreases until you die. I haven't gotten to that point myself, but I don't really know. But anyways, just by walking around, you run down food. Okay, so chef didn't say much. Food is life. It's a good note for that individual. This looks like another chef. And I'm just breezing through this because they're saying the same prompts here. Okay, cooking's practiced art. We do eat. Alright, let's chat with this person. No response. And sometimes people won't talk to you. Sometimes they will. Okay, so in this case, these individuals won't speak to us. Maybe they're hard at work and want nothing or little to do with us. So that's just another guard there. Here's another jester. A dancing jester. Jester twin. Okay. His job is to entertain. He's perfectly hoppy. A jester needs a good bard. Our bard is very good. Dost thou like the music? Yes. Then you should go to Britain, for there lives the best. Yeah, I guess the other thing to mention here is that you start the game wherever your class lives. So we're bards. So we start near Britain where bards are found. Britain was just the town right next to the castle. Okay, so that's all that we can chat with that person about. So, sorry, I'm just thinking of what to write for my notes here. Jesters need a good bard. Some of this stuff is inconsequential, other stuff not so much. So this is just a bard playing here. They won't speak with us. So let's have a chat with this person. You meet a fair maiden. So this is Juliet. She can help me, apparently. She's fine. Seek ye to know the 8 virtues. How the 8 virtues form into the 3 principles. Learn how 8 virtues form... Oops. Oh my goodness. Into the 3 principles. Okay. Know ye this? No. Seek it. Okie dokie. And that was their jester friend. So here is our good friend, Lord British. So he has lots to say to us. So let's have a chat with him. Lord British rises and says, "At long last, Hun, thou hast come. We have waited such a long, long time." Lord British sits and says, "A new age is upon Britannia. The great evil lords are gone, but our people lack direction and purpose in their lives. A champion of virtue is called for. Thou may be this champion, but only time shall tell. I will aid thee in any way that I can. How may I help thee?" Okay, so when the introduction said seek thy sovereign, it was a hint to come and see Lord British, because he is our sovereign. Okay, so my name is Lord British, sovereign of all Britannia. We see the king with the royal scepter. He says, "I rule all Britannia and shall do my best to help thee." Health. He's well, thank you. Art thou well? Yes. So the other thing too is, if you decide to level up your character around this area, you can come back to Lord British for free healing. So it's always a good idea to stick around this area at the beginning of the game. So help. It says, "To survive in this hostile land, thou must first know thyself. Seek ye to master thy weapons and magical ability. Take great care in these thy first travels in Britannia. Until thou dost well know thyself, travel not far from the safety of the towns." Okay. The ankh says, "The ankh is the symbol of one who strives for virtue. Keep it with thee at all times, for by this mark thou shalt be known." Okay, let's talk about Britannia. Even though the great evil lords have been routed, evil yet remains in Britannia. If but one soul could complete the quest of the Avatar, our people would have a new hope, a new goal for life. There would be a shining example that there is more to life than the endless struggle for possessions and gold. What else? Let's chat about the Avatar. To be an Avatar is to be the embodiment of the 8 virtues. It is to live a life constantly and forever in the quest to better thyself and the world in which we live. Okay. Lord British says about our quest, the quest of the Avatar is to know and become the embodiment of the 8 virtues of goodness. It is known that all who take on this quest must prove themselves by conquering the abyss and viewing the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom. Okay, so Avatarhood is dependent on conquering the abyss and viewing the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom. Okay. He says about evil lords, the great evil lords are Mundane, Minax, and Exodus, and these are apparently the endgame bad guys from the first 3 Ultima games which precede this one. This is all in the history of Britannia as well. There's more information on those people and a lot of this information. So the 8 virtues. The 8 virtues of the Avatar are honesty, compassion, valor, justice, sacrifice, honor, spirituality, and humility. Let's talk about the abyss. He says the Great Stygian Abyss is the darkest pocket of evil remaining in Britannia. It is said that in the deepest recesses of the abyss is the chamber of the Codex. It is also said that only one of highest virtue may enter this chamber. One such is an avatar. Okay. Only an avatar can enter the abyss. Okay. Oops. Let's talk about Mondain. Mondain is dead. That's good news. Minax is dead. Exodus is dead. Okay. Alright. So for honesty, he says, the fair town of Moonglow on Verity Isle is where the virtue of honesty thrives. Okay. So honesty is Moonglow. The bards in the town of Britain are well versed in the virtue of compassion. Okay, so compassion is Britain. Many valiant fighters come from Geelong in the Valerian Isles. Okay, valor. I'm going to go ahead and spell that the Canadian way, because why not? In the city of Yew, in the deep forest, justice is served. I'm getting this backwards now. Justice is in Yew. Minnoch, town of self-sacrifice, lies on the eastern shores of Lost Hope Bay. So that's Minnoch. We've already heard a bit of Minnoch as well. That's where we're going to find Zircon. Honor is from Trinsic, and this has to do with paladins. And spirituality. In Skara Brae, the spiritual path is taught. Skara Brae. Okay. Humility. This is the foundation of virtue. There are the ruins of proud Magencia are a testimony unto the virtue of humility. Okay, Magencia. And they're in ruins, apparently. So that's troublesome. So find the ruins of Magencia far off the shores of Britannia on a small isle in the vast ocean. Okay. Magencia is on small isle east, I guess. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. In the vast ocean. Okay. Talk about pride. Of the 8 combinations of truth, love, and courage, that which contains neither truth, love, nor courage is pride. Okay. So, pride is one of the... What? Okay, pride does not contain truth, love, or courage. Okie dokie. Pride, being not a virtue, must be shunned in favor of humility, the virtue which is the antithesis of pride. Okay, the 3 principles are truth, love, and courage. Okay. I guess I should stick that down below here. There we go. Make sure that you guys can see. So, truth. Many truths can be learned at Lyceum. Lies on the northwestern shore of Verity Isle. Okay. And I already know where a lot of these locations are, so I'm not writing down location information here. For love, look for the meaning of love at Empath Abbey. The abbey sits on the western edge of the deep forest. Okay. And what he's talking about here are some castles, other castles. There's 3 of them. Serpent's Castle on the Isle of Deeds is where courage should be sought. Okay, Serpent's Castle, also known as Serpent's Hold. Okay, and this one has to do with courage. So there's where we can find information on the three principles. Okay, so we're all out of things for Lord British to say to us. That's about it. Okay, I guess we can take our leave. Fare thee well, my friend. All right. So that was Lord British's long, long spiel. And so for now, what we can do is head out of his castle and maybe head over to the town of Britain and see what is going on. And we missed the door to get out, so let's go this way instead. Yeah, it's nice that the ankh is here because it just shows that it's a place that supports our quest and our adventure. All right, let's go over to Britain.